The Watcher probably left you with a lot more questions than answers. So if you're still mulling over the Watcher mystery, these theories about who the Watcher could be might help you come to some conclusions. We'll be ranking the top 7 most popular fan theories that involve both the Netflix series and the real-life story. Now this theory is popular, but that's about it. The Private Investigator didn't do it, not in real life and not in the show. It's a fun twist towards the end when Theodora confesses to Dean, but it's made very clear that the confession was solely to try and give Dean and Nora some peace, so the not knowing didn't eat away at them. In real life, the Broadduses hired experts including a private investigator and a couple of former FBI agents, but there was never any suggestion they had anything to do with it. In the confines of the show, this does make a kind of sense. Realtor Karen is jealous of the wealthier Brannick family, has a motive to want to buy back the house quickly and cheaply via an LLC, and flip it for a massive profit. She also has enough access to the family to be able to include details in the letter. By the end, it's clear it's not Karen. In fact, she's just exploiting an already difficult situation. In reality, it's also not super likely. Though, the Broadduses did use the same realtor when they did eventually sell the house 5 years later. Dakota might seem like a sweet, innocent kid, but when you really start to think about it, he also had means, motive, and tons of opportunity to pull off all the Watcher hijinks. The finale saw Dakota putting an advertisement for his security business in the mailbox of the new homeowners, dropping a little hint that he may have done all this to cash in on all the money the Brannicks paid him for security. On top of that, he often offered to watch the Brannicks' house for them and always seemed to be hanging around somewhere. Oh, and let's not forget, his screen name in his video game is literally The Watcher. It didn't seem like Dakota was a bad guy, but there sure are a lot of knocks against him. Did the tracksuit wearing weirdos from across the street send the letters to the Brannicks? Possible, though we learned they only moved to the neighborhood in 1996, making all the talk about the 60s a bit incongruous. Former resident Andrew Pierce says his son told him he saw Moe and a bunch of other old people killing a baby and drinking its blood. He also says he ran into Moe in the tunnels under the house, but Pierce is not a very credible witness. Mitch and Moe don't really have a motive to be the Watcher. And Moe has cancer, which Theodora certainly thinks would make her less likely to waste her energy on driving the family out. Mitch and Moe are stand-ins for various real-life Westfield neighbors who behaved strangely around the time of the Watcher. So in terms of how plausible this theory is, it's 50-50. Do we think it was about a blood pact all along? Not at all. Could it have been one of the Westfield weirdos? Very much so. John Graf both definitely did it and also definitely did not do it. In the show, Graf is a man who murdered his family and is a religious obsessive who hates change. And we see him escaping from the tunnels under 657 Boulevard only to pop up in Pearl and Jasper's house uttering the phrase, "They're on to us." So while the end of the show reiterates that the case was never solved, the narrative is clearly pointing to Graf, which is not actually that useful for viewers interested in the real-life case since John Graf is based on the family annihilator John List. He died in 2008 and had nothing to do with the Watcher. This is a strange twist in the story. Could former teacher Roger Kaplan, who used to write love letters to a house in Westfield, be responsible? In the show, Kaplan admired a particular house since childhood, but was unable to buy it when it became available because of a higher offer. In real life, there was a teacher, Robert Kaplow, who used to teach his students Ode to a House as one of his lessons, encouraging them to write poems addressed to properties. A former student attested that he had told a story about a particular house in Westfield, and that he had a quote obsession with it. Another student added that Kaplow revealed he had sent more than 50 letters to the house he was obsessed with. So letters are definitely his MO, and his obsession with architecture also fits. But the Ode to the House letters were all positive, and Kaplow was, by all accounts, just a very well-liked teacher. There have been no developments with Kaplan as a suspect, but he has since retired as a school teacher and has written several books. His novel, Me and Orson Welles, was even adopted into a major motion picture starring Zac Efron in 2008. Now, the theory that seems the most logical is that it was Pearl and Jasper. They have been in the neighborhood long enough, they are both obsessed with the house, they live in the right spot to be able to see and hear what's going on, and they are kind of weird. This is also the most compelling theory in reality. The real-life counterparts to Pearl and Jasper are Michael and Abby Langford. They lived right next to 657 Boulevard with their 90-year-old mother Peggy. Their father had lived in the house since the 60s and died 12 years earlier, which fits with the generational timelines in the letters. The private investigators the Broadduses hired suggest there were various indicators that the letters had been written by someone older. The Broadduses were convinced it was Michael Langford, and he was interviewed by police several times but always denied it. The Broadduses planned to bring a civil suit against him until the police had ruled the family out as suspects without saying why. After female DNA was found on one of the envelopes, one investigator managed to pinch Abby Langford's water bottle to test against, but it was not a match. Despite this, the Langfords, aka Pearl and Jasper, are definitely our top pick for the Watcher. Let's throw in a quick honorable mention. Some fans have speculated that the Broadduses themselves were sending the letters. Perhaps they needed a reason to back out of their multi-million-dollar investment after Dean lost out on his promotion. However, it doesn't seem like they'd ruin their families' lives for it. In real life, after the house finally sold, Derek tweeted that he's still waiting for my apology after a theory floated around suggesting that the family actually wrote the letters themselves. But who do you guys think the Watcher was? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. It's the best way to support our channel and help us keep producing these videos. Thanks for watching.